So once again, to recite the names, it is Jesper, it is Theodore, it is Magnus, and it is Eric. Now, I can tell you a little bit of history here, actually, in the youth tournament department, because I was up here in February also on the initiative of Eirik, and we then hosted a tournament for kids. And Jesper is the defending champion from that tournament. He was the winner back then at the Salmon Center, so might be coming in here as a little bit of a favorite, Jesper, but maybe someone of the other players have practiced enough to beat them. And also, Janik, the maps that they'll be playing are a little bit different, right?
Yes, so as you might have noticed, some areas in the maps are changed a little bit. This is to make the maps a little bit easier for the newer generation, as you know, they still have some time before they're gonna go up and become the new Call Junior. But for now, these maps are still not the easiest ones to play, and it's gonna be very, very cool to see the new generation of Trackmania players take a stab at it.
Yeah, they tried to keep the maps the same as the pros, but they've also adapted them and given them a bit more space for turns, bit better setups, because the maps for the pros are built intentionally to be as hard as possible. Yep. You want to push the pros to the limits. But here, they're a bit adjusted, but the racing lines are going to remain, and they're going to get the full experience. So, now that we're loading into the first map, I think all that's left to say is good luck, have fun, and let's see who wins it.
I mean, I'm excited, honestly. I don't even know what to expect at this point. You have seen them play a little bit, right?
I can tell you, they already at the age of 13, as you said, is way better than I was at 13, and their prospect at such an age is incredible, considering that, you know, they still have all these years of play ahead of them. We have some Trackmania pros at the age of 18, such as Gwen and Mime, but really, it's great to have younger players coming up as well. So if you are young, if you're watching this, hey, pick up the game, try it yourself, and carry the torch when we boomers at some point decide to retire.
What do you mean? We have plenty of years left, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Plenty of time. No worries, but we still need you guys to come take over the torch in the next, I don't know how long I'll be good at this game, maybe 50, 70, 90 years.
Were you ever good at this game, Janik?
Excuse me?
No, it's just a rhetorical question, but okay,
Obviously super rhetorical, okay. But as we see the players here, they're warming up right now. It does look like they have a good handle on the map here. Some of the tricky places of the map remain the exact same, and you need to be able to set up for those turns, or you're gonna have to, you know, unfortunately fall out or make a mistake.
So the warm-up now has concluded, and it might be that, you know, this is still the hardest map in the map pack, so they're really getting thrown right into it here on the first map. Let's see the first round, following the perspective of Eric in the start. How are they going to do here on the stage? Can they hear you? So we are now underway. A bit of a wide line there, but it is Magnus with the clear best start.
Yeah, yes, but right behind him, unfortunately falling out there on the right side, and Magnus is going slow and smooth because smooth is fast. You want to make sure that you're as consistent as possible. That is my mantra, by the way, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Consistency is key.
Consistency is indeed key, and one fun experience that these young kids have had is that also they've gotten to interact with the pros backstage. They've all had their own mentor and coach. And in that experience, they've gotten to learn, I think, a few valuable lessons of consistency. But here we see, after the mistakes, it looks like Jesper has reclaimed that lead, and is now coming up towards the end of the map. It is a bit hard to avoid those pillars. And now into the last corner here, there is no incredibly difficult jump, but he still needs to avoid the crashes. Can Jesper here secure the first win? He will do so.
10 points goes to Jesper, and now we're going to see if the other players have enough time to make it into the finish right here. They do indeed barely.
Theo not making it there, but Eirik will pick up 6 points, and Magnus picks up 4. So they have gotten on the board, and now they get another chance here to redeem themselves in round number 2.
It's funny because we talked about this map before, and this map was indeed one of the hardest map of all of the map pack, and it's still very, very difficult. If you take a look at this, this is definitely not an easy map to be playing.
No, and I remember when we learned it for the cast, our gameplay was no better than this. We would crash every single corner
absolutely.
and respawn, and it's not easy. But look at this round already. Magnus giving Jesper a fight here, and this is a close race. Only 900s in between them, and Magnus looking for that comeback on the inside approach.
Okay.
Overtakes first, and he has about a second lead on Jesper now. But we know the ending made them both crash earlier, so can Magnus hold this here in the downhill?
I mean, that was a really good left-handed drift he set up by landing in it, and they both set up a left-handed drift once again. Magnus does maintain that speed, and he's now in the lead. Jesper unfortunately hitting the inside corner, and now Magnus is going to be all alone and takes home another 10 points, goes to Magnus, and we have Jesper taking the 6. Very, very nice.
And it looks like they are the only finish this round. Very hard to survive the map. So that is going to be Magnus now jumping into second, whereas Jesper still holding first place here, 16 points out of the first 2 rounds.
I mean, we have 2 mistakes coming out in the start, and Eric is now the only one who survived. Theo getting a little bit of airtime right there. Jesper is overtaking, hitting the outside line, hitting the outside wall, and we only have one person, namely Eric, who has been doing this map solid as of this round.
Yeah, and it is really here. You can see the consistency, as we talked about. Eric is so far ahead. It's kind of the tale of the rabbit and the tortoise, where the rabbit is really fast, but then he crashes or, stops or whatever, and the tortoise just moves slowly forwards here. Eric, without the mistakes, he's just trying to drive safe, and he has a 3-second lead to his opponents. But Jesper, despite those mistakes, is coming back. It was 3 seconds, it's now 2.5. And with a couple of turns left, maybe Jesper can catch up. Oh, so there, another small mistake, and it might be Eric here. Only 6 points so far, could get this win, the last jump and into the finish ring. It will be him. 10 points for Eric this time.
It's nice to see multiple different players getting those 10 points. It goes to show that this is one of the maps where if you drive through the map clean, you have a solid chance of getting that victory.
Yeah, and it now makes for a very interesting match. Jesper is not that far ahead, and last time in February when they had that other tournament, it was very close between him and the other kids, and you see it here again. This time though, Eric again up in the lead in the start, but we know Jesper, especially the fact that Jesper seems to have managed the drifts really well, is what's giving him that pace advantage against the others. Here up the grass, actually really good lines. Very impressed here right now by these players, considering, the hours that they have in the game. It's not that many. Such a close battle between all of them. Before the ending section, Jesper carrying the speed. Really good. Now down the hill, does he avoid the wall? Oh, goes into the tree and gives Magnus a chance. Eric is there as well, maybe with more speed up the hill. Magnus only has this by half a second here. Can Eric get it in the ending? He's very close. Oh, Magnus is going to take the 10 points.
That's the second 10-pointer coming in from Magnus, and he might be able to take back the leading position.
He might, yeah. With that 10 points, it's going to put him actually 1 point ahead of Jesper. And keep in mind, they're playing to 80 points, and it is still finalist mode, but they are very closely approaching that.
27, 26, 22 points for the top 3 players. That is a very, very close race. Remember, we're playing to 80 right now.
As we see that section claiming a few crashes, it is very difficult, especially to master the airtime aspect of the game when you get into it, to understand why airtime is bad and how to, play around it in every corner.
I'm amazed at these kids. They set up drifts.
Yeah.
They're actually playing the game
good.
really well. Like, it's very, very cool to see.
Because a lot of the things that, we find intuitive now, it's not something that you just understand when you get into it.
No,
it takes many hours to learn.
The thing about Trackmania, it's a very, very unique racing game. And it has mechanics that no other game has. So sitting down and coming from, let's say...
Yeah, chooses to respawn there, Jesper.
Magnus is now the only one in the lead.
That is Magnus maybe winning another round here. The last round of the map, Magnus takes another 10 points.
But coming from other big racing titles to Trackmania, it can be a little different getting used to the mechanics, the air braking, the management of the gears, stuff like that, that you don't have in other games.
Yeah, it's completely different. You can still understand racing line fundamentals, but
Absolutely.
that's about the only thing that translates, because the rest is situational.
But the racing line fundamentals usually are like in a flat game. Here you jump and you
Yeah,
drive
yeah.
up walls and everything. It's a little bit different.
And also, I will say, some people get racing line fundamentals when they start driving IRL, but you know, when you're 13, you have never driven a car before, so unless you go on go-karting and whatnot. But yeah, it's something that you know, it's very impressive that they have already. So now we are in the warm-up again. We are on a new map. They might know this one already a little bit, having getting coached by the pros.
Absolutely.
But how can they deliver after the warm-up round is what we'll have to see.
Now, I haven't actually seen this map in the B format. So the two maps were A and B. A is the maps that the pro players play. B is the maps that the upcoming pro players are going to be playing.
I like the term.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly what the differences is. So I'm trying to take a quick peek here to see just where it is that they've made the map different.
I think they're making, you know, the corners easier. There's less edges to crash in. Here we go into the plastic part, and it's not as precise
That's exactly
between
the
the
same.
walls. That was, yeah, that was. They're giving them a challenge here.
Yeah, they definitely are.
But then the ending jumps is probably going to be made slightly easier.
Yes,
So that's something. But look at this. This is
it's exactly the same.
this is Tio now in the warm-up. He's the fastest player, and he wasn't last before this map. But going a bit too low there. Yeah, gotta avoid the clip, and also seeks the safe finish. But yeah, Tio could be a player to look out for here. Maybe he makes the comeback happen from the first map.
And that's one of the things that we've talked about, that even the pro players do. Sometimes they have a favorite map, that this is the map that I will win. This is the map where I gain my points back. And you never know. Maybe these kids have a favorite map that they know this is where I shine.
Yeah, you know, and it's like the thing, do you want to be the jack of all trades or the master of one? And maybe you can be the master of one map and secure a lot of points there. Here in the live round, though, we see, unfortunately, that Tio crashed at the start. But maybe the opponents make some mistakes, too. We see Eric there, I think, maybe making a wall touch. And Magnus in clear first now, being the only player that has avoided any mistakes so far.
I love that there is a transition where they can jump into a right-handed drift.
They can experiment with that,
and
yeah.
I see them doing it. I see them getting the fundamentals down. It is incredible. Like, these players are definitely impressing me.
Absolutely same here. So Magnus avoiding the edge there, being able to carry the speed onto the plastic. And here also just recognizing that he needs to go low to reduce the airtime is great fundamental stuff. Here around the corners, he's really got this down. I'm super impressed. Magnus on the inside. Tries a bit fancy there on the corner. Still going to be in first. The others will be a little closer. Very close battle for second. Can Magnus get the end jump? He does. Give it up for Magnus. Another win. And then what a battle for second place.
Ooh.
It looks like Jesper gets it by
Look at
100.
the times. The difference between second and fourth. That's 200ths of a second.
Very, very close there. But Jesper gets the best of it.
What a great match. Absolutely. Now Magnus is a little bit over halfway into that finalist position. But once again, once you get there, you still got to clutch out a victory.
That is tough to recover because he crashed on the checkpoint, has to double respawn, as we say, to avoid the upside down part.
Yeah, the flying respawn. So in this game, if you respawn once, you get a flying respawn. If you respawn twice, you stand still. And Magnus, unfortunately, jumping a little bit too far to the left, and it's going to lose that speed. And Jesper is going to capitalize.
Yeah, and it looked like Tio was actually again in first there before that checkpoint jump. So he has some good showings here, but not being able to get the runs quite yet. This looks like a great round, though, for Jesper, rather, to catch up to Magnus. As we see Tio also might be getting closer to that second place, but it's quite big gaps now. Let's take a look at Jesper as he's about to close out the round. Able to react to the no drift. That's good.
Yeah, he actually did. That's exactly what happened. He didn't have enough speed to set up the drift. He noticed and immediately counter-steered.
Good
Instincts coming in from Jesper. And another 10 points in his pocket.
Can Tio and Eric finish here? 2 seconds left. They're not going to be there in time. So the gaps are slightly increasing now. Magnus and Jesper with about 20-point lead down to their opponents.
Yeah, but they're very close to each other. They're only 5 points away from each other, and I think we saw a little bit of a crash there in the start. Indeed, Tio, unfortunately, did hit the wall, but the other 3 players, they're so close to each other. We see a few no-slides coming in, but they're still fighting for that first place.
Great lines from Eric. Bit too much airtime there, so Magnus will overtake him for now. Magnus holding that first place. Oh, I see. Yeah, he's very capable there of avoiding the walls. Great reaction times. And this is still a close fight. Anything can still happen here. Look at the speed for Eric as he's now coming closer and maybe even looking to overtake Magnus onto the grass.
I mean, unfortunately,
okay.
hitting that checkpoint. That's going to slow him down quite tremendously, and he can't respawn to get more speed. So Magnus is going to be all alone in the lead, a couple of seconds ahead of his opponents, but he still has that final jump into the finish that he has to get down.
He does, and we've seen it almost fail for some players earlier. That looks great, though. He's going to get that, and now turn our attention to the battle for a second. Looks like Eric, as we say it. Jesper failed as well, and Eric gets a second chance to get that for himself now. Tio finishing as well.
Comes back there, getting those 4 points, important 4 points for Tio. All of these kids, they're doing amazingly
They
right
are,
now. They
absolutely.
are impressing me so much.
They are playing, you know, and especially at playing in front of such a crowd too. You guys might seem scary, but you should cheer them on to maybe make it a little bit more bearable. Let's hear it for the kids. I know when I was this age, I was terrified of being on a stage, even if it was a school project, so.
Yeah, just standing in front of your classmates can be scary. Playing this game on these difficult maps in front of all of you guys, but you're all being amazing and the kids are doing great. So I think this is going to be an experience they're going to remember.
Absolutely certain that is going to be the case here. Eric, 2 great rounds in a row, Danik, and if he can keep the pace here, he can certainly catch up to Magnus. Also a good opportunity for Jesper to do that. Great lines. Oh, a bit much airtime here. Will he react appropriately? Dodges the corner. Good.
Getting that exit speed. Gets back up into first. Will
now,
he set up? Getting
good
a
reaction.
nose slide.
Good reaction.
Yeah, he got a nose slide, but he did counter steer, make sure he did not hit that corner and remains on first. Tio tries to take over
and
second.
And a good snipe from Eric for second.
Got it.
Jesper ahead of Eric, ahead of Tio, and Magnus will finish. So Magnus securing those 3 important points.
Absolutely, and Magnus is actually getting pretty close to that 80 points finalist position.
He is, but so is Jesper, and I think those 2 are going to be the main people to reach it first, as we had a mistake first corner. Was that Jesper who hit it? It looks like Magnus has made a mistake as well, though, so it's not that bad for the 2 leading players here, and an opportunity for Tio and Eric is arising.
Absolutely. Here we have Eric in the lead, but not by too much. Only half a second separating him from the 2 players behind him. But it does look like he sets up for a nice right-hander, hitting the outside wall. That's going to cost him some speed, and Magnus comes zooming in from the back. Now, with a little bit too much speed and couldn't quite get the steer onto the road. And Eric once again will remain in the lead.
I respect the risk, you know?
Absolutely.
When you're learning the game, you got to learn your limits too, and you only learn them if you dare to push them a little bit. So I respect it. I like to see that. Now Eric with a chance at a 10-pointer here, actually opting for a wall.
A wall bang. Those are rare in the competitive
I like it. The wall crash ensures you slow down just enough to get the turn right, and Eric will use that to get 10 points.
Absolutely.
Can't fault the strategy if it works.
For the players that do not know, wall bangs were a very common strategy in the older Trackmania games. Since then, they've been phased out slowly, but it is fun to see them once in a while come back.
I mean, and they only started because it makes sense to do it. You want to do a turn right, you hit the wall, and you know, it kind of works. But they don't build maps like that anymore, where it's actually faster.
No.
So we have the third map now. Which one is this? Oh, this is Buda, but has been changed to make it a bit easier.
I'm assuming that the quarter pipe jumps, I'm going to assume, are going to be a little bit easier, because I think those are very, very difficult, especially getting the exit speed on the uphill to make sure that you get across the gap in the quarter pipe jumps. I think that's where
it looks like they've added a couple of extra blocks to make it easier. We'll see here, probably a platform for that checkpoint too. right? So now you get some time to set it up, and then you still have to go up there and do the quarter pipe jump, though. So they are going to get to play with this, and that's actually perfect from Magnus in the warm-up here.
Absolutely. See, that extra speed you get to get up the hill is crucial, because if you don't get it, you're simply just not going to make the jump.
So here, the ending, how does it look like? After we go up the platform, we do not have the grass skip, but we will probably have that last quarter pipe. How does Magnus here set it up in the warm-up?
Yeah, looking forward to
go
seeing
for
how
it.
it looks.
Oh, it's straight
Oh,
up.
it's a straight uphill. I see, but you still need the extra speed to get up the wall. Absolutely.
If you crash the turn before, then you might not have the speed. So 3 seconds left of the warm-up here before we begin.
I like that you still have to jump and land in a right-handed, almost 180 turn. That's still such a cool element of the map that remains.
It really is. We're coming into the tail end of the match here, as Magnus has 70 points, Jesper at 64. We play until 80, and then the finalist format. So we could be moments away from having our youth champion here in Merløy. Only a couple of rounds perhaps remain. Magnus, that is masterfully done.
Absolutely.
Beautiful line by the leading player right now. Can he get the quarter pipe?
Yeah, let's see if he can get a low jump here on the quarter pipe. Jesper goes so low. What an amazing jump. Overtaking, getting first, and now 3/10 ahead.
But look at this.
Magnus' exit speed makes him get all the way back up on top. And if he gets that first place, he will become the first finalist.
Magnus able to keep up with Jesper despite that jump. And here, Jesper releasing, making sure he has it, but Magnus is going full speed. Will Magnus get the ending right? The drift, the uphill. Magnus, the first finalist in the field.
Very impressive. I just love seeing them set up a drift, like a full right-hander into a small drift to cut to the inside line. That's amazing.
It's sick. It's sick.
It's incredible to see them do that.
Actually sick. And here, importantly, Jesper hit 70 points. So if Jesper wins this next round, then that puts him at finalist as well. And then we could have a double finalist here in the youth final.
That would be just a show for the ages. Again, like we saw it only a couple of times with the pros. It would be so fun to see it here with the youth champions as well. But right now, Jesper is neck and neck with Magnus, but Eric is currently in the lead.
Eric, oh, unfortunate turn there. Can Magnus get the quarter pipe? Going high, going for that exit speed. Jesper going low, and Jesper has taken the lead, but this is where Magnus pushed up with a lot of speed last time. He's fast in these terrains, going out wide on the dirt. And Jesper still has the lead of about a second, but we saw, importantly, on this jump here, Jesper released last time to get the landing right. Magnus went at full speed, and Magnus is getting closer. Can Jesper hold on and make it a double finalist?
And it's gonna look like it. Magnus with a mistake. And
Jesper
does make it, and we have a double finalist situation. And I think it's
incredible.
It's so good that Magnus and Jesper both have two separate strategies for the first quarter pipe jump. One of them goes low, gets the early acceleration, but starts off slow. But then we have Magnus that jumps very high, lands with a lot of speed, and then tries to overtake afterwards.
And these are ideas that they, have landed on themselves. Like what they think is, one, most consistent, and two, fastest. Like what they think they can do reliably. So here in the double finalist round, we might have a winner. Either Jesper or Magnus can close it out here in this race. But can Theo even put a stopper to both of them? We will see. The quarter pipe is coming up. Magnus is in the lead ahead of it. Jesper needs a lower jump than ever. Can he land this one on top of the quarter pipe? Oh, gets that low air time. Theo falls off the side and is now a 1 versus 1 here for the youth win. Magnus and Jesper are there, both fighting for it into the dirt downhill here. No time for caution right now. They need to go for it, both of them. Jesper trying to make the comeback happen, getting very close to Magnus into the final quarter. Who carries the most speed? Is it going to be Jesper or Magnus? Jesper with
It's going to be so close!
Oh,
Magnus makes it!
And the handshakes come through.
An incredible performing there in the ending. That was so close!
What a round. Magnus winning by only 500ths, but both can be incredibly proud of their performance. That is an amazing spectacle.
That is incredible that it was so close. I cannot believe that they really showed up for us.
Amazing, amazing stuff. And as we look on to the side of the stage, we see Eirik getting ready to enter with a big trophy for the winner
This was fun, right? We want to see these guys playing more. Huge congrats to all of you. Just the courage to be on a stage after the world champions is insane. I thought it was also a stupid idea, but the young people in Melee says, why not? So we did it. Now, I want to hand out some awards, but I know that I'm not the most important figure in this town. So I want to invite the coach of Magnus, Spam. Can you come and deliver? And then Theodor, Carl, all of you can come up. Jesper, all of you get the medal, and then Magnus get the trophy at the end. Okay, Theodor, you divide these first. Just come on front of the stage. We can start with Jesper. Give him a hand of applause. Then we can jump to Carl. Give him a round of applause. And Theodor. Round of applause. And first, the medal to our winner, Magnus. A round of applause. And then the trophy as the youth winner of Arctic Gaming Experience 2022. So yeah, that's it for today. We'll see you tomorrow. Then we will have some streamers, some entertainers, but most importantly, we'll figure out who is the best at playing Trackmania above the Arctic Circle. Thank you so much for today, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.